Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're doing well and happy weekend. Today's tutorial is going to be all about the MPC Submix function. So let's get into it. Alright, today's tutorial is going to be about the submix function. So what is the submix and when and how do you use it? So the way I like to think about the submix is that it is a channel or a fader. I'll use those terms interchangeably. So it's a channel or a fader to which you can send or direct a group of other channels or faders. So you send a group of channels to a single channel or fader. And what this does is that now that grouping of channels that you're sending is now a single entity, and you can perform or apply various functions to that entity, such as volume change or effects. And the reason we do this is a great example is if you have multiple tracks, like let's say vocal tracks, you have multiple vocal tracks that you in your main mix you've kind of adjusted the volume of each track in relation to each other. Let's say a lead vocal and the backing vocals, and you have the volumes dialed in, and you don't want to play around with those anymore. You want to keep them, as is. But let's say that you want your vocals to sit above another instrument, let's say your drums or a bass or whatever, but you don't want to change all the individual volumes of each track individually, right? So what you can do is you send all of those tracks to a submix channel, and now you can you don't have to touch the volumes of the original mix, but now you can change the volume of the fader of that submix channel. And what it does is that it will move, or it will increase the volume of that group of channels, keeping the relations between them. Another example is you can expand the number of effects to apply to a certain grouping of channels. Let's say on your vocals on your vocal track you have 4 effects, but you want to add some more for whatever reason, and what you can do is send that channel to a submix, and now on the MPC software that submix has an additional 4 effect slots that you can now add. Alright, so I know I'm going on and on here, so let's dive in to show an example. Alright, so I've pulled up my latest project that I'm working on, which is called Sweet Love. I've played this in various videos in the past. It's almost done. It's getting there. So I'm going to use the vocal tracks on this song as an example of how we can use a submix. So as you see here, I pulled up the arranger view, and I have one vocal track here and another one here. So this first one is a higher vocal, and this second one here is a lower vocal. And let's listen to that together. Here it comes right now. So there's 2 vocals there. If you look at the mix, let me turn this down a little bit. If we look at the mix of those 2 guys, here they are. So I have one at minus 11 dB and the other one at minus 3.7 dB. Alright, so I have this on a loop. So I like the volume settings of each track. I like how they're balanced. I can hear the high vocal well, and I can hear the low vocal well. And I don't want to change those volumes anymore, right? So let me just stop that. So I have those volumes dialed in. And now let's say, I find that they're not coming through the mix as much as I want to, and I want to increase the volumes of the 2. But let's say I am doing that often, as I'm working on the mix. And so it would be kind of a pain to change um, each each vocal track independently, but keeping the same difference in the dBs between the two each time. So all you have to do is send each vocal track to a submix, and then you can control the volume of both equally with the submix. So how do we do this? So from your mix window, you select the I/O menu, which I/O here is in out, and you could see that for each track or each channel, you have on the bottom here a little window that you can highlight, and I can, with using the dial, I can change the output. You can see here the output that I'm selecting is changing. So by default it's output 1 and 2, which is the master left and right, and that's where typically the signal coming through the channel, it goes out and it goes to the master left and right channels. So that's what the out 1 and 2 is. But what we want to do is we want to send our signal for the vocals to a submix, not to the master, but to another channel, a kind of a middleman channel where we can change the volume of a grouping of vocals. So my vocals of interest here, actually I have in this song I have 4 vocals, and I'm sending them all to the submix 3. So before this was like it was at channel 1 and 2 like this, and I sent them to submix 3, and I also sent these other vocals to submix 3. So they're all going to submix 3. So where is submix 3, right? So if you take your mix window and you just kind of press and swipe left, it takes you to your submix page. And here I've already created a number of submix channels, but let's just focus on the vocals here. So I have a channel called All Vocals, and if I go to the volume, I can now, if I change this fader on this channel, it will change my grouping of vocals. It will change the volume of the grouping of the vocals. So let me just show you guys. Let's go back. Oops, I moved something by mistake. I'm just going to undo. Okay, so I have my track on a loop. So here I have channel 6, channel 8 going. I like how the volumes are in relation to each other. I don't want to change that. But now I want to change their overall volume as a group. So the submix channel 3, where I have all vocals, we can hear the group of vocals and we can see the signal. And now I can change the volume of that group. Now it's very low. Now I'll bring it up. Hold on, it's coming back on the loop here. Here we go. Now it's loud. Bring it back down. And when I do this, it's changing the overall volume of that group. And the individual tracks within that group, the relation between those are not changing. Okay? It keeps the relationship between the volumes of the individual tracks, if that makes sense. And similarly, what I can do is we can go to the effects menu, and now you can see I have 4 effect slots that are available in that channel. So I can apply a reverb, let's say, or compressor to that grouping, all right, so that they all have kind of the same feel. There's kind of a a sonic glue that's holding them together by applying an effect to that overall group. And then if you look at the in and out of the submixes, you could see that they're going, the output of the submix is going to the master out 1 and 2, which is the master left and right. Okay, so that's it basically. So once again, we are sending a grouping of channels to a individual channel where we can control the volume or any other parameter for that matter. You can pan a submix. It's basically just like any other track or channel. And what we did is, if you recall, we selected our channel of interest, and we went to the in and out, and we changed the output channel to sub 3. Here we go, sub 3, by selecting that and then just rotating the dial to select what sub channel you want it to go to. And then we can look at the submixes. Here is our vocal submix. And now I can change the volume of that grouping of vocals, and they'll change in relation to each other. They'll change equally. And I can now bring them, that group, louder or softer or to the left or right, or any parameter you choose, compared to other channels in the mix. All right, so this gives you a lot of freedom and versatility, and it also makes things more efficient. So you're not changing channels individually and kind of trying to keep the relation between them. Also, as I mentioned, you can apply 4 additional effects to that channel, and you can apply, so when you do that, you're applying an effect to that grouping of channels that you're bringing in from the mix. All right, and so that's basically the concept of the submix. And yeah, if something's not clear, let me know and try it out, and you could see that it's going to make your workflow so much more efficient. All right, till the next time, peace.